All right, oh no, we're actually good. Good. How's it going, Vinman? Welcome to the stream. We had lots to showcase today. Working on some more thruster effects for the engines. They're a bit basic right now, but they're just meant to be good. Just waking up. Yeah, same here. It's going to be a full day stream today. We're going to be doing a lot of network RPCs for kind of gluing in a lot of the station technology. And that's going to be interesting. I'm playing with our engine shader. It's not quite perfect, and it's not final, but I want it to get rid of the need for particle effects and try something a bit different. But anyway, this is fine. So that's working out good. And if you weren't here yesterday, I now have warp working. So now I can actually, so we now have a warp drive that we can put on the ship. Drive works fine. And now go ahead and spawn in my ship, which now has the warp drive saved. And check this out. So, and I'll explain, because I think you're more on the pirate side of things, right? Would you say you're probably a bit more on the pirate side of things, maybe? Let me explain to you the best. I'll explain to you the best. Okay, the best pirate game in the world. Okay, first let's get up to speed, and let's jump into warp. So I'm now in what'll be a controllable warp, and this warp right now isn't like I still got to work on the system for it, but will be bendable, right? So we're in a space bubble, and I'll kind of explain to it, and I'll get your feedback on it as a pirate, because I want this game to be one of the best pirate games out there. So the idea is, while we're in warp, we are in a controllable, state, but depending on the speed, right? And I'll kind of explain like how this works for piracy, and just to kind of get, we're going to go into Notepad or into MS Paint, and it'll make sense, right? So every planet, the idea is every planet that we have that's like orbiting, let's say our little star, right, has a gravitational field, and this gravitational field is just represented on a compute shader, really, if we think about it, as like an outward gradient, right? Like every celestial object has this gravitational influence, and what all it looks like is it looks literally like like an outward gradient, on an object. And similar to kind of like we're pirate ship, so it's like a pirate ship's moving forward through warp, right? So the faster we go, right, through warp, the we continuously quadratically increase in speed up into the max bubble speed, right? And the way that my system is going to work over time is that the proximity, like your ship's warp bubble, works kind of like the way sensors work. So, let's go and pretend that this is our warp bubble. So, right, so the warp bubble knows all the gravitational, through the system manager, what all the gravitational objects are in the scene. And what we're doing is we're actually sampling our position, because everything in my game is moving, or will be moving. Right, so the idea is these positions and mass are fed into a compute shader. This gives us this system-wide gradient map of all the blended gravity in the system. And it's your job as a player, that if you're going to be space trucking, to try to calculate routes and try to travel routes in warp, like in a controlled warp, like Super Cruise, similar to Elite Dangerous, really, if you think about it, where you want to keep your proximity, right, to all celestial objects. You want it to be as far away as possible so you can maintain the most speed, right? Because if you deviate from, if you start trying to steer the warp bubble too aggressively, it'll start shaking, and it'll eventually fizzle the warp bubble, and you'll just kind of get like flown out, and then you'll kind of like decelerate, right? And be like in space again. You'll have to align and get up the speed, and then punch warp again. to be able to warp. But that means for a pirate that's, you know, actually going after another pirate or another player, right? What they will do. Hello, I think just learn how to copy and paste. Okay, thanks. So for a pirate has a couple of things, right? It has a wake scanner. So like here's a wake scanner, and it has a you have your hacking, you know, gameplay. So the idea of a pirate is a pirate hacks a trade terminal, figures out what transaction had occurred, so it knows like what's being bought and what's being sold at a station. And also as a pirate, they buy a wake scanner, and if they know that, you know, if they hacked a ship terminal and they've seen that a ship had just left port, I don't know, like 20 minutes ago as an example, we'll say 5 minutes ago as an example, and they can actually leave the station, you know, pretty much take that warp signature, right, that they've just gotten from we know what ship, they can scan pretty much for a wake of that ship, which persists every time somebody jumps. There'll be a wake that spawns, and it's just like a little item, an object that stores a velocity and like a direction, like a vector. And so the idea is that pirate, you know, sees a signature that seems to match that ship. So now they have a generalized direction, right? Just a generalized wake scanner says random ship has jumped, you know what I mean? That matches that signature, and then the pirate can start heading towards them. Now, mass affects, you know, our actual warp drive as well. So empty pirate ship and full empty pirate ship, right, or full cargo ship, the pirate ship is going to be able to slowly catch up to him, right, and see where. Now he could have deviated to a point, you know what I mean, that he could have deviated to a point that you probably lose him. But if you think about it, like if you look at your star map and you know where all the other celestial objects are, right, you know where the other stations are, you can probably get an idea based upon skill, player's skill, based on you know where the system is in rotation, where that player's going. So you're trying to track them down. And remember, you still have your wake scanner. So in a worst case scenario, you can stop and kind of like try to scan for a wake, you know, within a certain, you know, radius. But chances are, if you've lost them at that point, you're really not going to be able to do anything about it, right? So we have gravitational influence, we have mass as an influence, and we have the gameplay mechanics of slicing or hacking, and of course the ship system. So you finally, you know, came across, you know, the ship. And so the idea is you didn't have your interdictor device, and all the interdictor device does is as you get up close enough, you know, it's just an instability of your own warp, right, that will then cause the other ship to fall, right, to be pulled with you out of warp. But now this interdiction is an equilibrium, right, of gameplay mechanics. You have found the ship, he probably knows you're there. You have interdicted him, and you've pulled him out. Now, you haven't done any homework at this point, probably. You know what he's carrying, but you don't really know what type of ship it is until this point. And you don't really know, you know, you the pirate, don't know at this point what he's packing. You took the risk assessment, right? You took the risk, you know, the little happy face check mark that I want to take this ship, but I didn't really do any planning. You know, I checked the trade terminal. I know they had gold. I know the ship existed, and I know they had a wake signature. You know, I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna assume, you know, that they're not a bad player and they're not teethed out. But I've just pulled them out. This gives each ship technically a quick moment to kind of reestablish themselves. I heard pirate, right? So, you know, there is a chance that the ship, and this is by design, right, can now decouple and start blasting the fuck out of you at the same time that you're able to do it to it. But the hope is that they're passive, right? You're hoping that they're just a passive player who's like, don't want to lose their cargo, because remember, that cargo has a value. And you did learn, you know, the value of that cargo because you saw the transaction. That's how you found the ship in the first place, right? So you made that risk assessment yourself, and you've now engaged in piracy, and now, you know, you're both in regular space. Now dogfighting now occurs as per usual, right? dogfighting is now happening. You've won the dogfight. So what do you do as a pirate? Well, you're going to take all the cargo, right? And or as much as the cargo as you would like to have. But now you've created another slight problem for yourself, and that problem is that you're now a criminal. If that ship has, and this is the whole cycle of things. So if there's comm systems, right, that are still up, we'll paint them as green, right? If you weren't paying attention to where the comm arrays were at the time, you know what I mean, that you made that piracy, and then this comms, you know, this pirate attack is being broadcasted, right, to the nearest security station. That sounds like a lot of those. Oh, but they already exist. I've already made them, right? So that's what. But fantasy state machines are so fun. So you've now taken the goods, but now that's done two things. That's now made you heavier. You are now the heavy ship, right? You could be now slower. You make me so. You need to think about volume, right? Pirates don't normally have to think about volume in Star Citizen, right? So, but you know, you're going to be greedy. You're taking all of it. You know what I mean? Then now, when that notification happens, and NPCs or even other player bounties start getting notified, you as a pirate need to be thinking about, okay, what's the route, right? Where's he going? How much does he have? What's the comm network look like? But where am I going? Right? Where am I going in, you know, like after I've done this? Right? If there's only 2 jump points, right, in the system, right, and there's secure jump points, you know, I have my own problems now I have to deal with, right? And if I don't know any fences, right, if I don't have a good pirate reputation on the pirate side, and I haven't learned where specific fences are in a system, then I'm going to be also limited to where I can sell it. So I guess what I'm getting at is it's a lot of work to pirate, but it's also good. It's also systemically designed, right, to be risk versus reward for being pirated. But the great thing is, if you, the poor smuck who's trying to run away, because of the curvature, because of the limitations in quantum travel, if this ship manages to kill warp fast enough, do a full 180, and spool again, and get out of there, you have a 0 chance of being able to turn around. Right? You'd have to kind of slow down, wake scan, try to find them again, try to play a little bit of like cat and mouse, and they've just gained on you. Right? Because they know you're following you. So you know, because you really need to kind of have that, you know, you really need to kind of, you know, you're kind of having 2 different, you know, approach paths, right? Where you're trying to kind of head them off and make that attack happen. So that's how things work. Hey, how's it going, Cubus? So that's how it works in the game, where that's the design of piracy. The loop. And that's what I'm working on, right? I'm working on gray box system. Getting, you know, the actual stations just in a gray box. Getting all the transactions happening. Right? The fact that I can go back to this station. And I'm going to land over here. Right? So we can, you know, right now, just in a very basic form, right? We can just go, put my cargo hold, buy a bunch of cargo, you know, buy some gas, get 4 units of gas, put it on the cargo hold. I mean, all this stuff, you know, but you know, none of this is, you know, this is what the game, you know. Cargo I put in the game first. It's all good, man. Just showing people, show people the game. You know, spread the Patreon updates. Money is not everything. Just be like being a pirate, just being an informant. You know what I mean? Like showing me like what's fun and what's not fun, or what looks good, what doesn't look good. You know, like how missiles work, how systems work. You know what I mean? It's like making it real is more important than, you know what I mean? Like obviously the donations will get me to the goal of working on it full time, sure, but I'm gonna work on the game anyway, and we're gonna get there no matter what. So this is like what I'm getting. I'm putting in the foundation. So warp now works. So because warp works, right? Ignore the. I can now go in, shut down the camera. So it's coming. You know what I mean? It's coming along. You know, final art will be later on in life, but just being able to shut things down, turn things on, you know, kind of get the systems up and see how they affect the, you know, the shift of the gameplay. You spend too much time making, you know, art, you'll never like figure out like if something's fun or not. So like I think that looks nice. Just very subtle lighting, right, to show that the it's offline. It's like a red, the low, and all the metal, and it's no longer green, and a very bright green. Yeah, so warp, let me get out of this atmosphere here. Yeah, so warp will just keep increasing every 50 meters per second, every 2 seconds. We're just like increase, so this will increase speed pretty much indefinitely. Right, so we can now like actually go across, you know, the station and spin, you know, game now like balance things, see how they work. Like the horizon line is so weird. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with that Starmap. I'm just gonna warp for a little bit. So slow. 0 speed. No, the warp speed's underneath it. We are definitely like back to normal. See? We are literally there's the planet that we left. And I'm gonna have a custom warp texture. I just have a specific like nebula looking thing there right now, just for the effect. Kind of get the blending right and the refraction. Why are there 2 speeds? Because you're not simulated in as a rigid body when you're in warp. In warp, space-time is bending around you. So warp doesn't use the physics system. So the 2 speeds are just for debugging purposes. Just so I can, you know, tell what the warp speed is of the warp bubble versus the rigid body velocity. Right, but if we were to take all that stuff over, we could go and unload it and sell it and make money. I don't know why that actually, that raycast breaks after I get out of the seat. Right, so then like cargo works, drop-off missions work, so we know like, you know, pick up cargo and drop it off at another location. That's how you get interest in the project. What's that? Right, so we can actually go and do cargo missions. Right, so there's a lot coming we're gonna be able to do. Oh, I wonder what. Hmm. I think the tractor beam. I think we need to fix the tractor beam. That'll kill 2 birds, 1 stone. And that finishes the mission. Yeah, I actually love this. I love that I can fly around. You know what I mean? Like I can actually like work around and kind of just like go places and split things up. I don't know. It's so cool. And this was the other thing out of the email. And was the pirate. Oh, I think I already showed you this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do NPC and waypoints. Yeah. I don't know why. These are not. Yay, thank you. Regular?
The make one. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thanks. Yeah, I want to separate the missile, the weapon types. Right now, the generic ship weapon that can be a beam weapon or a laser weapon, or set like the beam as being the child of the weapon that can spawn if it has a beam. As I want the beam to propagate with the weapon, especially if it's a beam weapon. That way, it spawns in. The beam itself spawns in when the weapon spawns in. The beam can then be like the tip of the beam can be controlled then with the weapon itself over the network. So it doesn't need to network respawn in the weapon and then the beam and then like you know. Mm-hmm. What's that? What?
Lactose-free, not lactose.
Oh, sorry. Are you taking that one then?
Yep. This one is lactose-free. No.
I think I am actually. Instead of this being a mission Sims 3D, it'll still be a mission Sims 3D, but it'll be. We'll break the beam down. Let me do that in Godot actually, because that refactoring might mess things up. Yeah, that way we don't need to necessarily have the beam. Yeah, let's make the beam effect. Let me get something to be aim. Install the mesh. Weapon ship, weapon type, unknown, laser. What are we using this for? Nothing. Let's just say, yeah, let's check this as moving. Oh, that should become beam. That'll be laser. Put these emitters in a sub plan, in a sub node. Cloud emitters. They're like organized. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm actually turning the hard point on the multiplayer. And that ship systems are actually working as they're supposed to. Because I'd like to get the ships actually firing in multiplayer today. Or I'd like to get the aim vector working in multiplayer. Because it's just one point that we just have to. I'm just going to do the servers, can't do anything for the server. Okay, so if I head over here, I'm in the ship. I want to see if that point is working on multiplayer. I don't know why that blank keeps resetting. Okay. Keeps going in the RGB mode. Annoying. Yeah, so we need to authoritatively steal the VJoy reference on the upgrade ship that we have authority over. Right, because see how like this point here is synchronized? I want that point of the ship's control systems to be synchronized. That way there's only one node reference that drives, you know, the ship aim of the ship on the server. Sensors against Starmap object should return. Oh, don't return null, return empty. Yeah, that's what we're waiting on right now. The world is waiting on me to finish getting these gameplay systems working, but getting them working. Then once we're back to where we were in the Unity project, I think things will take off. Any errors? Okay, there we go. That's the cover. Yep. Okay, so our VJoy. So us having the VJoy when we enter the ship, we're not actually moving this aim point in multiplayer, and we want to actually make sure that we're actually doing that. We also want to get our UI stuff in multiplayer as well, because those are just sampling from the same ship systems. So a lot of that can actually move over from the other prefab. Cool. So when we run set pilot, so we're not, are we using ship stations on the multiplayer version of the ship yet? Thank you for the follow, Tito the Ghost. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, my name is Captain Revere. We're working on the space trucking simulator with pirates, blackjack, and hookers, and you know, made in Godot. What you're looking at here is a gray box. Oh yeah, no, they are true stations. So when we do set player as a player rigid body net, as we are checking for the interface, but we have two different types we need to define. We're telling the ship set to pilot. We're setting our camera target. So when we set the pilot of the ship interface on the player ship, right, when we set pilot, yeah, so when we wake up, we're getting the VJoy cursor anyway from our own scene. Hello there, greetings from Morocco. Oh, awesome. Right, if we don't have authority and we're not the pilot, and the VJoy is not null, then we're setting the aim vector. Interesting. I don't know if we're actually setting the VJoy when the ship is ready. Root space UI VJoy cursor. I don't even know. In universe UI. Yep. Oh, that should, yeah, that should be fine. I think UI actually has a public visual cursor. Yeah, we should probably get it through the UI actually. But if that's the only thing we're really getting from it, I think that's fine. Root space, UI, visual cursor. This should happen. Speed up point. Visual. Print. Package. Visual. Not defined. Do you like space games, Tita? And if you do like space games, what's your favorite space game? You didn't get the error on it. So it got defined. And on our unhandled event, let's actually grab this aim vector. Or grab it from the visual actually. Curious to see if that's actually updating. This is gonna be a bit. Yeah, okay, so I do have no, I had my real input vector, but not my. So I'm feeding the VJOY into the ship. This is not the one we need. We need the normalized, not the real. We need the input vector. Or the aim input, which is the normalized. I'll just do this with one player real quick. And once we have authority over the ship, that should be a value between 0 and 1. Okay, this is what we want, right? 0.75 in the cardinal, so this should be our aim vector. Because it's interesting that on the client, it's moving. But not feeding into our weapon system like it's supposed to. It's the aim input that we're looking for. Which is working because the ship is actually moving. But we are actually getting aim input because we are able to fly the ship around. So the VJoy system is working. So I'm wondering why the weapon system is not working. And I think I know how we're going to change it. Right, I think the convergence point, like these node references that I'm using for ship weapons, I think we're going to change them to vector references. We'll visualize them, you know, just we'll visualize them as the same node, but we'll keep them at the ship level so they're easy to synchronize. Thanks for the follow, Nanny. Hopefully you're having a great day. And I'll just have to remember that on our parent iShip, over the interface, we'll have to grab those points. So instead of keeping them under ship weapons, although that wouldn't be that bad, like in the ship hierarchy. Right, if we're setting it with authority, we could totally, and it's read only anyway, right? Yeah, we could totally do the gimbal aim point and the convergence point as node references. And we're moving, right, so we're getting a collision point from the ray cast. Or defaulting it to be the forward at the default convergence point. So this convergence point is what needs to be synchronized. What we really need to do, we need to go further with this, because we also need to check to make sure that we have authority to do this. So if we don't have multiplayer authority on the weapon system, I'm going to return. And this is just aiming. And technically, if there's no miracle ship, yeah, we can actually escape. Ever again, will it say that? I think we can. Maybe if we don't have a pilot, we're not really controlling them either. What? No camera authority, so we must be the other client. This is kind of a hack. Oh, because we need a camera for it. Right. There's no camera in the scene. And they're setting the aim position. So as long as we're checking if we're the multiplayer authority, and then what we'll do. They haven't tried synchronizing something that would be private, like this node position. Yeah, because that was the old. Oh no, yeah, that is it. Emily point that position in the weapons. The gimbal aim point position. So it actually should be synchronizing. If we have the authority to do so. And make sure that my own authority isn't affecting single player real quick. Then we just need to fix projectiles and make sure that they're spawning correctly. Yeah, I wonder why it's not synchronizing. We were not moving it. It's supposed to be moving. Because we definitely should have authority. Like, unless we just don't have authority to move it. This ship is not really. Yeah, like what defines whether they have a pilot? And the ship outside. So it has pilot. No, because if we didn't have a pilot, we wouldn't be able to move. So that's not the issue. It's nothing to do with pilot. And so it's weird that weapons, are just not enabling. Game length. I'm not really setting a player on the weapon system either. Print. Moving. Okay. Yeah, because it's supposed to be moving the gimbal aim point. So it should both be no. We don't get to that point on this ship. Or that would be spanned. So we don't ever get to that point. And there must be a camera to find, unless it's just this one. I mean, this should be set. Camera should be set if we are the multiplayer authority of the node. Over ship mode. Alright, let's see which one it is. Is it authority, or is it like camera not being defined? You know it is? I'm getting no pilot, which is correct because there is a ship and I don't have a pilot right now. There's no camera to do the reference. What? Why would we not have a camera? Why would we not have the player's camera? That doesn't make sense. And the player is when we spawn in. And it returns the current active if we are the authority. Maybe we're not the authority. The ship is ready. And let's do, because it might be root. Right, like who is the authority? Or maybe the spawn, maybe we're setting authority after we spawn the ship. So maybe like, maybe ready is, because we pass authority to the ship. Because the server technically owns the ship, and then sets authority when the pilot interacts with the station. So maybe we need to grab a camera anyway from the scene. We don't want to grab the active player, the active client. Yeah, because I don't want to do it if we have the authority over it. I want to do it if we are the client. We need an owner ID on the ship. Actually, on enter tree, you set the owner ID to whom spawned it. Yeah, because when I join and we spawn in the ship, so it spawned in with server authority, which means it can't really get a camera reference anyway. But in reality, there's only ever one camera in the scene, which is its own camera. So I think like setting that reference regardless of authority is probably not a big deal. Yeah, it's probably not a big deal. Because there's only going to be the one camera in the scene, which will be the active player's camera. Right, yeah, this is going to be owned by root by default, but we still need a camera. So we can get the client's camera, because there only is one root main camera. So I don't think that's actually an issue. Because it's not like there's different players with different cameras. So now, see the gimbal point? Now the gimbal point is fully synchronized. So when I come down here and I aim that Rav here, it's gonna be moving around my gimbal aim vector over here. Where is it? If I like come over here and I turn around, I should see that aim point be moving. How's it going, David? So that's what I'm aiming at. Or that's what the ship is aiming at. Now that said, I'm aiming that one. Let me actually see how accurate that is. Well, that's right. And we're not raycasting against the surfaces. So what we need to do is spawn in another ship and then make sure that both aim points are working. We're adding more stuff to the multiplayer today. So I should be seeing about here. I should be seeing the thing that we're both aiming at. Okay, so I'm aiming over there at the star. It's all good. That looks accurate. And then I'm aiming over here. So now we have our 2 points synchronized, which means that all we have to do now is get the RPCs working for the ships, the ship weapons of fire, and instantiate their projectiles. Then the projectiles will be on the server, and then replicated as well. So we get projectiles working, and then we should be able to get the NPCs on pretty quickly as well by adding the player ship NPCs into the scene. Yeah, it's a day of random multiplayer. Yeah, so this was all working. We just didn't have a camera. Set manual on focus on target gimbal depth for convergence. A manual on targeted gimbal depth for convergence. Boy. Yeah, so the hard point should now be looking at the that point. That I didn't actually check and see if it was happening, which I should have. Because if the convergence point is working, technically, you should be seeing the weapons move around. So, on and ship again. Grab authority. Yeah. Do we actually see the weapons move around? I don't think so. I don't see them looking at the target. This is being set, but we don't see the weapons. Unless they're not in the socket. Right? Because they're definitely on there. They're not moving. Alright, so they are in the hardpoint. And the hardpoint should be working. Unless the weapon system does not have the hardpoints defined, but it does. So hardpoint left and hardpoint right works. We have our... We don't have any missile mounts. We do need to add the missiles to multiplayer, because that'll be fun. But it shouldn't matter right now, so we know that this is all working. So for each of these hard points, if the snap point has a component and it's a ship weapon, so this should be a ship weapon, then this should be happening. Oh, right. Right. We're not the authority, but we want the client to actually still do this. Like, we want all of the clients to still be simulating what they're doing. So we only want to be updating the convergence point. Let's go to this. So we want to be doing both the convergence point and actually moving it if we're the authority. So if we have authority over it, we're going to move it around. But for everyone else, for all the other ships, we're still going to iterate through the ship weapon systems and actually take them look at the target, because they are the clients. So this is only going to be happening, only going to be controlled by the authority, but for everyone else, including the authority, we want to actually still look at the target. So now, we should have our gimbals working. So we're going to host, and we're going to observe. So I'm going to connect with Rav. I'm going to join in. So there's Rav. I'm going to join in my ship. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to grab authority. And now I have authority. Now we should be seeing the look at still happen on all the clients. Which we're not. Okay, so we have the authority. We have the authority, so we're moving the thing around. Interesting that, especially with that point being definitely synchronized. We're definitely synchronizing this point. Right, so we want to, yeah. Right, unless the hard points are still not defined. Do you have any statistics for net traffic? Yep. There's a whole profile. I think hardpoints. I think the hardpoints. Let me check the count. Yeah, we can actually go into the network profiler. So on the server, on our debugger, for session 1, network profiler. So we can start a network profiler. And we can start everything up. And it's great because it shows the RPC bandwidth and it shows the stream bandwidth. You know, so it actually shows everything. So you can see like what synchronizer is pushing what data. So I can tell if you want to host as RAM. I'm going to join. Alright, so if we go back to the client, and then we go to network profile, and we go back to the build, and we run the session, and then there we go. So that's every piece of data coming in from every single NPCs. I've been so discouraged by my train system. It took so long. It took so much more time than expected. Hey, if it works though. Right, so this has like almost a megabit per second right now. Up from the NPCs that we need to kind of balance. Yeah, so spawn in, said ship. Okay. It's working again. No. But are we getting the close this out. Okay. Yeah, so the whole time there was definitely 2 hard points. Is it a different weapon type? Maybe I just attached the models. Maybe they're not really the weapon. What are these things? They are chip weapons. Isn't megabits per second? And that's because there's 100 NPCs broadcasting their position and rotation. Right, so you take the, just the size of a double vector 3 for both position and rotation, and you multiply it by, 100 NPCs being synchronized. It's about right. So that's what a compression as well. I'm always trying to live in the world of worst case scenarios, that's why I always have those NPCs running around me, right? Just to kind of like have skeletal animations and, things happening. Oh, okay, they're not defined by default. This one needs try laser 2. There we go. So I don't, because I've already pre-allocated the weapons for multiplayer. We need to. They're not actually kind of being set here. I also don't have any IDs on these hardpoints in the multiplayer. They're not really set up that great. Right, our comm system point, the power plant point, cooler, 2 fuel tanks. Yeah, and neither is the hard points. For rotation, if the player is grounded, you could in theory get away with 1 byte precision. I'd say, yeah. Player is grounded. It also depends, like, a lot of stuff that I want to do with networking is hierarchical. So, like, you know, Godot sucks for it right now. Well, sucks, but you know, if you're only ever synchronizing position data in relative to like the parent node that's being synchronized, and you know that way you don't have the synchronized global position all the time. You know what I mean? Then you're dealing with a lot less, as well, right? So. I'm gonna try my socks on. One thing I love about working from home is I can just PJs all day. Just shirt and PJs, just like the old COVID days. Yeah. So these hard points are set up. Yeah. So you might want to go in and actually set the IDs of these. I don't expect, right now, like I don't care if we're saving and loading through the multiplayer ships. They're all the same code. I take off and put, what's that? I take off and put on my pants for like 6 to 7 times a day now because I gotta take the dog out. Yeah, that's perfect. It is the way. Size, medium, snap points. Yeah, so that's why it's not actually working. Yeah, so we gotta figure out what I want to do with projectiles. I think we're gonna switch projectiles to be to not use rigid body simulations. For performance. Okay, let's go over here. I'm the player. I'm got my ship. Nope. Right, even though like we are just making it look at this thing. It's still not looking at that thing. Let me actually turn off the Right, so we know that we have a count. No, that's correct. We're going through each of our snap points, dividing up each of our hard points that we've just defined, and make sure that it's a ship button. And the ship component is definitely defined. The hard points. Yep, hard point left, hard point right, hard point left. There's a ship component. Yeah, I wonder if they really should have an ID. I don't think it matters. Only hard point right. Nope. Why are they not with their type? Oh, they are with their type. Are you planning on sending custom packet per player? Is it each player really only needs recent data of nearby players? It's a hash of their combined data. So every player, right, as they change data to their data set, right, they have a hash. Like whenever I equip something, change my inventory, change a ship piece, do anything, that hash pre-calculates, right? And that little hash is the signature of the data, which means that when a player flies away, something happens with them. It doesn't matter whatever happens to them, something happens to them, and they come back into view with another player. If that hash is out of sync with the local hash that the client has of seeing that player, then we know we need to do a resync, right? And then when we need to do a resync, then it'll go through and, then during that, into the frame, swap in, the components that were missing from the player, or the hairstyle, or change the shader properties that were changed at that point, so it forces the player to kind of like rebuild itself on the client, right? Otherwise you're going to get stuck sending too much data. And what's interesting too is like over UDP, because I haven't done this on Celestial yet, but I created a custom UDP packet that puts the game object type or the class type at the very beginning of the data, like of the actual like control UDP signature. So the idea then is I can actually like take a UDP packet and from the very beginning of it grab, like kind of like certain parts of the signature to be like, ensuring that ordering is correct on the packet. I want to be able to kind of be like, what is this and what is this relative to before I even process the data, that's actually coming in. So there's ways of like kind of like signaturing the data in some way, but when I need to put more work into it. Those are all like optimizations, really. Like you can get the whole game running, you know what I mean, without a lot of crazy netcode. And then like as you need to kind of like when you start getting into like security and testing and all that stuff, then you can kind of start working on it. I think the lasers are actually reset in the scene for some reason. I think this has a for some reason this one, no, it's all there now. Weird. It's like the references to these things weren't working. There now. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah, it's really weird because we should be iterating over those PowerPoints. That's the only ship component. The weapon type is known. So it should be turning them. My messages keeps failing to send. I wonder how that works. You said are you using Unity or Unreal? I don't remember. I keep forgetting. Store every player in a tree node structure, basically XML. So as I say the player, I want to be able to have like a flag. Flag what I want to save to this tree structure, like inside what part I want to sync to each client. Okay, so same as like a replication tree. Which message kept failing? I got it. I could hash that tree node structure, and I don't have the right hash for every part of the data, layer data. Yeah, that's how most like you could do just a graph structure. You know what I mean? That way you can kind of notify up, through the graph of what data needs to change. And yeah, I don't know, because I wanted to do like some type of custom replication graph for the entities in a way that works kind of the same way, right? Because you don't want to have to iterate over entities if you can kind of like check, if the node has already agreed that all children are still fine, you don't need to traverse it, you know what I mean? And if you still don't know, you kind of keep traversing down until you find, data needs propagate, but you fail quick, right? If the nodes like haven't been flagged. Yeah, that's how like Unreal's replication graph works anyway, right? That's why what's called the new game that's coming out, with server meshing. The only thing they did to get server meshing working well was they just added threading to their replication graph, to Unreal's standard replication graph. They just added multi-threading to it, and voila, it has the performance to do what it needs to do. I don't even, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Where is my visual cursor? Where am I actually printing? In-ship weapons. What does that 2 do? Move to ship, make synced. Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna set this up to be like public-private set. I should really take a break from my training system and work on more fun stuff like gathering and netcode. It's an eternal battle. You should share some of your game progress sometime. Like, wait, why am I still getting... Hang on, maybe that's old data. I'm gonna clear it. I don't see where I'm echoing out. Betting position. Oh, it's in the player. It's here. So if we were never using this aim vector anyway, what am I using this aim vector for if I'm just passing everything? What was the point of having an aim vector? I guess originally it was to kind of do that, was to have just a piece of data on the root game object for synchronizing, but why would make it private? Yeah, we're not doing anything with it other than setting it. Yeah, so that can be deleted. We're not doing anything with it. All the unhandled equipment can be taken care of. This weekend I managed to solve and optimize the closest point on a mesh algorithm, building paint brushes from my train, and because the train was voxel based, I need to check the distance to brush mesh. For each voxel point, its train chunk is 32 by 33, so I'd optimize the shit out of that. Yeah. At least if you know the domain of the voxel system, you could just round it to the nearest chunk size. And then you're literally just like, they don't even need to exist. You could just interpolate a voxel point just in, Bum, ba, bum, 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 ba, bum, bum. Okay, so that shouldn't be doing that thing anymore. I had to be going crazy. Da 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 da. Host. I use some bounding block stuff to limit how many points I have to compare against. And instant thread splitting. Oh, okay, okay, so I'm doing something for later. Hello, person over here. This is wild. I'm getting like the point at which what the waycast is looking at, but not. Maybe they. I don't know. Yeah, so in the iteration process, it does see them. I wonder if the I wonder if they're actually moving. If the snap points are moving. But the weapons themselves don't have authority. Yeah, they should though. I'm curious. I'm going to GD the authority of that node. For the snap point, snap point, chip weapon, chip component dot multiplier. Get multiplier authority. What's the of that object? So that should be spanning at that point. So I'm wondering when we take ownership of the ship, I wonder if it was actually sending authority down to the components. So I wonder if the ship component is actually still being owned by the server and hasn't been set authority over that client. I bet you it actually is. Should be using my profile or my debugger.
I'll hum it for you.
Be lazy. Caffeine has not kicked in. Remain join. Oh. I bet you that's the issue. Is that the we are actually moving the gimbal, but we don't have authority to move the weapon. We don't own it. That also means that technically if I go in here, right, and spawn that shit, I try to move the weapons. Oh wait, what? No, he does have it. Yeah, they do have the authority, right? 59. Yeah, 50. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, that's the authority of the player. Why isn't it moving? Why isn't it looking? It's so weird. Like, it's literally going through each of the weapons. Like we can literally see the gimbal, position that we're supposed to be looking at. Right here. Like, moving around on the server. And it's like, no, we won't look at this thing. So we definitely have authority. Let's do something. So let's spawn into my ship. So obviously that's gotta work for me too, right? mine shouldn't have a problem because I should have authority over my own weapons. Oh look, it's not working for the root either. So they have authority, but the look at is not working. Well, see, like we're now seeing, right? So the server has one being the server, so each of the weapons are directly owned by the right authority. So what is just right? We're seeing each other's. Snap point. Look at the gimbal aimed at global position. Oh no. Hang on. That still shouldn't matter. Gimbal aim point. Right, looking at it global based upon our current ship's global base as well. But still. The weird thing is, it's the same code that runs when I am in the player, like when I'm in single player, my regular ship, which has the same systems. There's no unique classes for multiplayer and single player. They're all the same. Right, unless it doesn't have a parent reference or something, but I mean, obviously it does. Maybe the ship component needs to have a gimbal reference. Is it locked or something? Can it be frozen? I am so confused, especially with me being a server. I mean, actually, I gotta spawn in my ship now. I'm super like curious why this can't move. So like spawning my own ship regularly. I have my weapons on the hardpoints. I don't know. That is weird as hell. There's no like authority issues with that. It's the same code. It just makes the snap point look at. And when I just ran that, we should be seeing a span even here, right, of 1111111, because we're playing single player, thus making ourselves the. So it's totally capable of doing it. Right, rotates the nodes so that the local forward matches the target position. Why would look at fail if iterating between a ship component that has a weapon? Especially if we know the component name and we know the authority is working. Why would this fail? What would look at fail? Set the local forward. Like, we do get there. It happens, and we just run a single version of this. Let's run Universe Online. Oh, you do have a small showcase. Cool, I'll take a look at that after. Yeah. Post. And a second, we spawn the server. You're not breaking? What? You know, so we'll get in. Break. Boom. And break. Right? We have a snap point. We have a global position. And we have a global, and our rotation is defined. As we step forward, it is changing. I don't even understand what. How can we be moving it? We don't have a component ID, but this snap has a multiplayer authority. Owner. So our rotation degrees is nothing. Can I watch this? And then keep playing. Five. What available for snap point? It's so weird. Like it's trying to look at that gimbal aim point's global position that's being set. Are they like top level or something? What else would cause this to be weird? Transform. Not top level. Oh yeah, let me take a look at that showcase. I'm also going to use this one. Oh, this is cool. Cool. So it's like a big voxel terrain, and I can use the meshes and convert it into terrain. Cool. And that is that Unity, right? Cool. So that converts into like standard Unity terrain? And I'm gonna throw your YouTube there. See, maybe there'll be great things in the future. Oh yeah, right. Not by design, no. It's purely height map based. Why am I like? What is happening here? This is so weird to me. Like, why won't this just look at the thing? Especially when it's not like I can lock it. It's not locked or anything. It's not in some weird rigid body state. Right? It's frozen. It's static. It can be moved. It's defined as the ship component itself. But the big thing I solved, as well as texture blending, and using a texture sheet for the terrain. So I only use one texture. Nice. Alright, we're gimbaling plank records. No, that's really fast. I don't think we need a standard conversion for that reference. Oh, I get that. I know why we. It's there artistically, so we can just kind of set a default convergence point, a node. If that's the case, this should actually just be changed to a reference here. So we just know that it's just a reference. Yeah, I don't see anything that would cause this to not work. Right? Unless like it's doing it and not add mesh instance building. And I'm gonna give this mesh instance. We're just gonna make a big old quad or a big old box. And we're going to take it and copy it over to this one. I want to know if the hard point is moving, or if, is it the weapons that are not moving, or is it the hard point for some reason that's not moving? Right, is look at not working, or is it just some other weird issue? Right, is something like updating the weapon position in real time? Right, if we go over to another player, spot on the ship. Right. Will the box move? Is the weapons not moving? Or is it a... We just got like a crazy lag spike. Yeah, no. It is definitely... I need to, what we need to do is we need to actually check and see if there's maybe something replication based. So let's go into remote view, take over the camera. Because we know the player has authority, but let's see if the player... Oh, it is working. They're just not replicating. Because the weapons themselves are not set up for networking. And the hardpoint positions were never meant to be... Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, so because we know... Yeah, so it's a me issue. It's actually a stupid issue. It's not even an issue. Right, so even in weapons we're synced, we never assume that the hard points. But they rotate client side, but their values are not synchronized, but we're doing it on client side anyway. It should still be doing it. It's just weird, right? We want this I shouldn't need to synchronize with the snap point swivel position. Right, if this is happening on every node, right, for the ship opens anyway, right, and that's a part of the synchronizer is making sure no state changes unless on the synchronizer. Which is annoying. So we could just go in and we could fix that. Yeah, that's still weird. Because I know I can fix it by putting in the hard points rotation in the synchronizer for each of them, and then set them maybe on just unchanged. But like if it's a full client side thing, it shouldn't matter. Right? If we just do the node rotation of the hard points themselves. Right, and that fixes it, but doesn't that look cool? Like just experiencing that as another player. Pew pew. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, we need to limit them. We actually need to actually fix the gimbal itself, the physical gimbal. Anyway, then we have the RPC to fire. And then we'll be able to shoot things. I still lurking. How's it going, David? Yeah, and we'll just do this thing if we're not using up the clear authority. And then we're gonna defend. There's a lot of these. Everything's going to be changed back to the one lines. We're literally only using that like one point. We don't need aim position for anything. I would set these to be like, publicly readable. But I'd probably lose my references. Shoot on fire. When we do fire, we put out another fire authority. I'll find worry about it. Yeah, we could make sure it's like we don't have the projectiles and that we have more problems. Alright, so for the space scene that we're adding it to, I think I want to change the way we do the projectiles in space. And create a projectiles container that has a multiplayer spawner on it that's only designed to handle the replication of ship weapons that are in space. But man, why don't we put them here? This one. Right, so we're doing just position or rotation of these. With an Omni light, but this time I don't know why. Why does it have a bullet in it? Oh, there's a universal projectile. So unreliable transfer mode for D-spine, which will do our Q3 and local and the server. Put it on our timer. And time it. We're sending D-spine. Which we can. But yeah, like chip weapon system. Why aren't we naturally firing? Even in Universe Online, there's nothing really stopping it. Right, unless the network version of Playership is not sending in the weapon systems is firing. Okay. Because we should actually now be good. We should both fire. But we're not doing shit. But let me compare them both real quick. I think we're just about. What is the bulky? Going forward ship. On fire, we're saying weapons that. Oh, weapons that free. Free weapons? Free weapons? Fire weapons and free weapons? Free them to be fired? What? What is reach of the snap points? What? Set firing to false. Oh, right. Okay, so when we let go, we're freeing them. When we hold them, they're firing them because they're this. For any repeaters, they will keep firing, right? Because they're free to fire until you let go to trigger. Right, okay, so we did change the way we... Right, if it was released, we're freeing, and if it was pressed, then we're firing. I don't know what it is. Yeah, and I don't think that we're actually doing that to the weapon system. Here on our input system. We're not doing really much because of the input handle. Yeah, so an unhandled input, we'll be doing it here. We're doing it in regular input. Missiles fire warp power. I'm gonna steal this. Add it. It's pretty much going to be the same, but missiles are probably not going to be working, so we're targeting. I don't think we have a lot of that set up, and power emitter still fine. I don't know if any of this is actually doing anything anymore. That's the old unhandled input system. Yeah, if we can get firing. Why does the alt tab bordering have to be so terrible? Alright, I'm gonna watch and see what happens. So there's my other player, we're all good. And then perfect. They're getting 100 errors every time I press it. They're not set to replicate yet. Cool. So there must be... Yeah, so get node for space, projectile for relative to root. Because the spawner's not defined. So we want to be able to check here, just putting them on space. If we're the multiplayer authority of the weapon system, and we're firing, I'm gonna actually get the node reference for that projectile's collection. No, we'll get that on. We'll get that projectile soon when it starts.
I'll look around until I found
And we'll get node or not.
someone who laughs like you.
And we still have the bullet reference regardless. So we're gonna do an if projectiles in that now. Else on it in space. And now there's this one happening inside the projectiles scene. To replicate. And so we're saying add it here. You can keep this, you can just prayer. You can subscribe to there's a cooldown for when we're able to shoot again. So if we're the multiplayer authority, we should be able to send that. So on the ship weapon. This should add to a point to an area that has a reference. So this should be able to handle spawn path. It's going to be projectiles. And I can set a spawn limit then of how many of them we actually want to have spawned. But we won't set it. We'll leave it to be 0 for now. And then we'll just make sure that our projectiles is going to be our space, because we renamed it. So we're definitely going to lose that reference. Prefabs, chips, weapons, ship projectile. It also means that the tri-lasers are also probably don't have that projectile reference anymore. No, it does. Okay, good. Let's What's our base type? Weapon. Laser weapon. Weapon type. Okay. Need a host. I'm gonna join. Wish there was like a better way to put tab into things. Spawn in the ship. Alright, so we are watching. I'm still getting. We are saying that we're invalid, but we should be RPCing 1 to that. Oh, that was our shield, taking damage from ourselves. But these were definitely space projectiles. Projectile 2, projectile 3, projectile 4. Yeah, so those are all the ones we fired. But we couldn't get the RPC back. Because the invalid node was found. Ship projectile. Is correct. Right, this is owned by the server. The spawning, the ship weapon. The fan route, space projectiles. Wait, space projectiles, so it's not null. Yep, that seems fine. Right, and true on their child should be all we really need. So what we'll do, let's just change this to okay. PC. So any here with file. How local will be true. Transfer load. Spawn projectile. Yeah, and then we'll do 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 do. Let me just add a projectile offline.
Play it once then, for all time's sake. I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
We're not the only place where we should have been. I don't think I need this. So we needed an emitter. Reference.
I'm a little rusty on it. I'll hum it for you.
No, let me just check. This is probably not going to work offline, huh? So maybe we kind of just adjust some things if I still want to offline test. But it might. Because we're still technically just the server ourselves. Right? Mhm. Okay, no, that's good. Yeah, we gotta get the beam weapons, get the mining working with multiplayer. Why? Why did we not, we should be able to send that. Right? Can't find space projectile on remote in space. We have a bunch of projectiles. Can we check the other session? They're not spawning there. But it has the spawner for space projectiles. Like, it can spawn space projectiles. This is itself. ... No spawn and delete it. And like, this is where we're telling it to spawn. Like, if I spawn my own ship on, or is that my own ship? That's it. Take ownership of it. Does this one replicate as the server? I see that. Where's the other fire? Down here, landed. Okay, so as the server, I'm able to shoot. So why? Because I should have authority to fire. If any peer can call that. Right, this is why I end up having the RPC. Set to 0. Check weapon. We're going to admit. Right, we could do RPC ID 1. So we could say to server, and then the server spawn it with the emitter reference every time, and we should have, because we're sending it to 1, and spawn projectile. Yeah, it's any peer can send up this RPC for spawning. Do. Right, makes sense. Host. Iron chip. Like, I am now sending it to the server. And it's still right, the encoded object. But we're trying to encode ships.weapon systems and the generated invoke. So we're invoking our Godot class method. No. Right, we can't incast our encoded object as a no 3D. Right? That makes no sense. So we say, hey, server, please spawn this. Please spawn this. Any peer. We call also liquidating. Right? We get an emitter reference, so we know. Unless we can't give it a node. Oh, actually, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's do Vector 3. Let's turn it to an emitter position. Which will be global. We'll say position. Doesn't need to know. It's easier to replicate, and we're not trying to replicate. Yeah. Oh, because I was actually putting the global. Yeah. Just do that. Position to do that global middle. Oh yeah, we still need the rotation as well. Yeah, so we can just do global position, global rotation. Yeah, that'll be accurate. That will be perfect. And then what we'll do in position rotation for the RPC, we'll instead send it emitter global position. And then emitter global rotation. And this will serialize. This should be encoded. Do. Host. Join. Joining the ship. Jump in my ship. Go and watch the ship in all of its glory. So if that's the case, and we're going to be replicating, then we don't want call local to be true. Because we just want to be sending to the server this. I think we'll be okay. Because we need authority to tell the server, hey, you should go and expand this thing if you have authority. But I don't know then if that's going to send. Yes, because we are manually sending it. Let me try. And then we're not technically going to be worrying about spawning it. The server is going to spawn it. And we'll get the replication of what it spawns. Why are we still spawning it locally though? Why? Why are you doing this to me? Is it the RPC call of the cleanup? Right? Can't spawn node. Spawn projectile relative to root. Right? And we are putting it in projectiles. Oh, because we don't have authority. Okay, okay, so that was the authority issue. Yeah, so we still need any authority. Transfer node. Spawn it in. Add it. I'm not going to be putting it in space. We want to keep them in that. So let me go through these empty test things. Add those nodes. Oh, synchronizer now. No, that was a spawner. Wait, what am I doing? That synchronizer. That's gonna be removed. Auto spawn list for this one is going to be our chip projectile. We're not going to limit the number that we can spawn. I'm going to copy this into the other scenes that we're testing as a dependency. Alright, I'm going to try it again so we can get rid of those errors. So we just gotta get projectiles online, shields that behave regularly. They're just going to be taking the damage received when they get hit on their authority. Okay. Okay. Finally the chip. Why? Remote. Projectiles are still not spawning them on the other session. So where are they spawning to then? Oh, they're just spawning local on each one. Right? Right, we're receiving the path. Not get project. Right, ship projectile 2, ship projectile 3. Right, as the root, we should be adding those for replication. That's right. But why are they not going then? Like, everything else has been syncing. Animations. Where are they going? I didn't get an error. Right, invalid packet has been received. Tries to confirm that a node which is not requested. Ah. Not adding to the like that should work. Right, if we are unless oh yeah, I'm gonna look over just fine. Maybe they are just fine. They're trying to spawn on other ones. So. And do that. Paste. Yeah, no, we can't spawn because it's jumped out every single. That's weird. Hey, Code Void. How was the game? It goes good. We're doing multiplayer stuff today. Why? Let's do is server. There is multiplayer API. Server. Then spawn it. So it's only happening on the server to be replicated in. Yeah, it's kind of good. We got warp in the game now. We can warp around. It's kind of cool. Like, I only want the server spawning them, but I want them replicated. Right? Like, it's working, but yet not spawning it in the right hierarchy? I don't understand. And it should have authority to do so. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Right? Working but complaining that we're not spawning it in the right tree, but yet we're still spawning it. Makes no sense. Why are you complaining? Right? You're complaining that they're not in the right... Yeah, they're not actually adding to that child in the remote. And they have authority, like the ship weapon at the top, that is spawning. Any peers? I guess I call local if it's false, just to make sure we're not calling it locally. So it is only happening. As a projectile. Right, look, this should work. Force feedable names is true, so that they're easily to be seen. This projectiles is the replicator. Yeah, it's a spawner. It has a projectile spawn node. And I thought 0. Maybe it needs a spawn limit, but I don't think so. Java is funny. I would never touch Java. Even though they're syntactically very similar. Like, why are you not? Okay. Yep. Right? There's still 4 errors every time. Even though I'm seeing it work. Like, it's obviously spawning it. Just not spawning it in the sort of mode. Let's see if we get replication across 3 clients. Like, working but spitting out errors is like the best. Right, so let's do the host. It's going to sit there and observe. 2 points. This one, and do some redo. Oh, it's gonna run really goes slow, because it does when I have 3 clients running for some reason. I don't know why Godot hates, but that's totally fine. Here, this one, once we're able to do this, I'm seeing the firing there. Yeah, it's like totally replicating everything fine. Like it's happening on every client, but yet not happening correct. Why? Right, and it just says bad packet received. Was the request for the node? Right, failed to get paths for the RPC. Why? Seems like you now have the node with the path client root in your server project. That's fine. Very, very weird. This occurs as server calls a local method before sending off the network packet above the RPC. So if we did RBC-A and then an RBC sync function of RBC, oh, because wait, fire is an async function. When we're spawning, no, it's not. Right, so each emitter is saying, hey, run this. Right, so this gets received as the RPC. But this is still happening in an async function. Is the issue. Right, so we don't really know. Once it's done, we have a cooldown. Then we're able to shoot again. So there's a 0.3 second delay between firing the next RPC. And I'm wondering if that has to do with it. Right, projectiles that add charm. And so for this,
I'll look around until
Right, the only thing is we probably, if we're just firing them as if they are single player, I bet you the projectile itself doesn't need a synchronizer anymore. Because they're a representation, they're each firing visually on each client, but only the server's one is the one really that we care about. It's like a universally fired state that's happening locally. But it's only the one, it's only the collision that's happening on the server that matters. So they don't need to be synchronized if they're already kind of happening, already firing locally. One, two. Because, like, we're putting it there. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, with the way that I'm doing it. We actually need a spawner on it. Because we're doing it over an RPC. Yeah, so it actually doesn't need... It needs a place to put it, but I don't think it needs to be a spawner. Maybe something will look up, and then I'm going to follow the building. I'm going to spawn this in, but it's not going to happen. We're not going to be synchronizing the bullet itself. Why are you still getting? Just do a regular RPC then. Would you happen to know why my C# IntelliSense isn't working properly on VS Code? What's your .VS Code project like? Sometimes it happens if you download an add-on, and that add-on is also a C# project. You might need to go into your thing and define like which one is the main project definition. It's gotta be the async. Like, I fire 2 shots and get 4 arrows. Even though it works. right? And it's just because it's trying to put it in that scene. Right? Visit node was not found. Space. Project. And I removed the synchronization. We're just literally spawning in an inside game object at this point. Shouldn't matter about the authority. Is it for Godot RGB? .NET. Yeah, normally when that is an issue, it's because your project, so in your project itself, right? So in your .json or VS Code, you have a settings. This is our default solution. So this needs to match what's being generated, right? So when you generate your solution, whatever your solution is called, right? That solution goes into our .vs code. So here's my launch settings, right? Where I can attach my editor, launch my scene, launch the editor, attach it to a process. So it, right, so that's my launch JSON, and it, like how that works. But in your settings, this .NET default solution should match, because sometimes you'll have an add-on, and that add-on might have some fix it immediately. Okay, good. Thanks for the help. Anytime. Yeah, because sometimes what'll happen is there'll be more solutions in the project. So you'll get like an add-on, and add-on would be like some term, I don't know, whatever. So something that uses .NET or like a library. Maybe you like pull down something manually or whatever. Especially if you're using like a lot of like custom stuff. Like I'm using like Newtonsoft and a bunch of extra packages, right? So once those packages get installed, sometimes they have their own solutions with them, and you need to make sure that everything's all set up correctly. Why does this work but yet not work? Like, there's nothing on it. We're just adding the damn job. Few projectiles. It must already have. That is projectiles. Forgetting. Unread. Root. Space. Projectiles. Projectiles no.end was not ever pop up. As far as I'm aware.
Play it once then. For all time's sake. I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
Yeah, like spawns the ship in okay. I'm gonna have to look at my other code. Like the one that I set up for the Descent project.
I'm a little rusty.
Because we solved this.
I'll hum it for you.
And they gotta put them in space. Yeah, why don't we just put them in space? Put it in spacing. We get rid of projectiles. This is not working anyway. Do-do-do-do. Projectile node not found. That's totally fine. Right? Even putting them in space. I mean, space has a spawner. I could throw the weapons projectile there. Like, I don't even want it synchronized. I just want it spawned. I don't care as long as the server gets one. Right? Stupid thing legitimately works. But yet is getting these spawning moves. I don't get it. Why? We don't have authority to do it. Let me take and take a look at my other project from way back when. Which is called Decent Space. Right, and we just had a despawn with our laser. And on fire, did call local, reliable, it's the same thing. We look for a space node. We instantiated it, we added it, that was it. And we set the velocity. And we didn't get any errors. And all we did on fire was RPC the name of fire. The only thing I can think of, it's gotta be the fact that it's happening inside an async function. So how do we build a delay? How do we build a delay type system without it being an async function? What we're probably gonna have to do is just build a, an old school counter, right? That just kind of like every X millisecond, every 0.3 seconds, it sets itself to be true, and the second we fire, it goes false again. Right? So it kind of like just, you can click it all you want, but it's not gonna, fire until you're able to be, it's able to be fired. Or we set a timer for the pulse of the fire itself. right? So we just create a timer node for firing, we give it a timer, and we have that timer, call out, timeout, set the RPC, and that'll probably work as well, because I have a feeling that's what it is. Because it's not a code issue, I don't think. We never had issues with projectile replication in the test project that I did. For multiplayer. It was like, this one. I'm gonna make sure we don't get any projectile errors here. So I'm gonna host. Ignore the music, chat. I know you guys can't hear the music. No, I'm still getting RPC issues, even on this one. Even though it's working. Man, I'm getting a totally different set of errors. No, I'm still getting an invalid data, even on this one. Even though it works. And I don't think we were getting that on 4.21 at all. Is it lunchtime? Is it lunchtime? What's our uptime? It's like it's weird because it's working. We have it all working, but we're getting weird replication errors, even though like it's not an issue. I could ignore them, but that would be ignorant. It's just weird that like it works but isn't working. I mean, I can kind of go with it, but I think over time those errors might. Like we literally have everything working. Let's spawn and ship. Jump in. Right? It's like working, but not working. I don't understand. Why? Why are you working but not working? Anyway, I'm gonna raid someone. I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna come back afterwards. We can now fly around and shoot, and that looks kind of cool. Still has better ways about tabbing within this stuff. Yeah, we gotta remove the collisions from the projectiles themselves. Okay, yeah, that's exciting. Okay, cool. So the rest of the ship system should work fine. Because I just need to create like a data struct of types. We just need to serialize the component data and just kind of replicate it. Because it's not even, no, we actually don't even need to do that. We just need to worry that the server's version if the player is actually loading up the correct stats, and that's pretty much it. Like when we're doing the collisions on the server, it already has all the same ship stats that's on the player client version because it spawned in that ship for you. So we don't really need to synchronize anything there. So it's just really like continuing to work on it. I want to make sure my own single player projectiles work before I raid out and get lunch. I figure that there is as well. Okay, good. Okay, alright, I'm gonna raid someone. Let's go find someone to raid, and we'll be back later to get some of the rest of that. I want to get the warp working in multiplayer. The warp working in multiplayer. Oh yeah, it's Johnson. Let's go. Let's go and check out Johnson. Hopefully he'll be here when I'm done. I guess not. No. I'll be back after lunch. I'm just gonna grab lunch and be back later.